All right, so this is specifically for my B1 class. So this is notes for 1.8 and 4.2. You should have those in front of you. You need to use the slides that I printed for you to fill in page 1 of your notes. Okay, and actually on the second page it asks you what a function is, and that's also in the slides. Okay, so do your best on that, use the slides, and then I'm going to explain the rest of the notes. Okay, so finding domain and range, actually this should say and range, from a graph. So you should have already defined what domain and range are. Okay, domain is the set of inputs, or another way of saying that is the x values. And range is the set of outputs, or the y values. So we're going to use interval notation to write the domain and range from a graph of a relation or a function. Okay? So even if it's not a function, we can still find the domain and range. Relations have domain and range. Okay, so I'm going to show you a way to do this. And we are going to use highlighters. Okay, so if I want to find the domain, then I am looking for the x. Okay, so that's this right here. Let's see if I can. Oh well. All right, so I'm looking at the x value. So I want to look from left to right. From left to right. So if I look at my relation here, my picture, a circle, where is the furthest left that it goes? This is the furthest left that it goes. Okay? Where is the furthest right it goes? Right here. So I'm sort of boxing in my picture. Okay, I'm creating borders on the left and the right. So if that is where my relation goes, it goes from -1 to 5. Okay, so I'm going to put a -1 here, and I'm going to put a 5 here. From -1 to 5. And I'm going to put my x in the middle. Now, it actually touches the -1, so it could be equal to -1. It could also be equal to 5, or it can be anything in between. Okay, because look, it touches here and here, right? It goes all the way. So the symbols you're going to use are these, less than or equal to. All right, so now let's do the range. So for range, we're going to go from bottom to top. Okay, that's the y. We're going to go from bottom to top. For domain, we go left to right. For range, we go bottom to top. So my bottom is here, and my top is here. So you see how I've put a box around this circle, around my relation, my picture. So the range is from -3, we want to start with the smaller number first, to 3. And I have a y in the middle, and I'm going to use the same exact symbols. You're always going to use a less than symbol here, but you may not always have the equal to. All right, so domain and range. This is called interval notation. This is called interval notation. So instead of just listing my domain like -1, 0, 1, 2, I don't want to do that here because this is a continuous function. It's not just random points. It continues. So not only does it touch -1, but it also touches -0.9999999 and -0.9999998, right? So I don't want to have to list all those out. So I'm saying it can be anything between these two values. Is this a function or not? No, it is not a function because it does not pass the vertical line test, because it crosses once and twice. So no. Why? Because it does not pass the vertical line test, or you could say because each input does not have exactly one output, right? This input here for 1 If the input is 1, the output can be 2 different things. That's not okay. All right, so let's look at this function here. Well, I say function, maybe it's not a function. We'll figure that out in a second. All right, so if I want to find the domain, let me see, I did domain in yellow, so I'm going to do that again. Now, this one is interesting because you see how these lines here, there should actually be an arrow there, okay? Those keep going forever and ever, okay? So that's going to be important because when I do my domain, my domain is from left to right. But if you look at this, I can't stop it here. If I do this, I'm putting a stop to this graph, but look, these arrows mean it doesn't stop. It's not going to stop going up and it's not going to stop going left. Okay? So I don't want to do that. So what that means is the domain is all real numbers. The domain can be anything because there's no stopping point left and there's no stopping point right. Okay? Another way you can write this is negative infinity is less than x is less than infinity. Don't put equal to because nothing equals infinity. All right, now for my range, I'm going to go bottom to top, okay? Well, I do have a bottom. It does stop here, okay? So this is my bottom. My top, though, I don't have a top. I do not have a top. So the top is infinity, okay? So my smallest value, now look at this. This gives you the ordered pair here. Which value am I going to use? I'm going to use the y value, right? Because I'm talking about range. So I want to use the -4. So that's the smallest my y can be, and the biggest my y can be is infinity. Now, can it be equal to -4? Yes. So it's going to be less than or equal to. Can it be equal to infinity? No. So that's how you would write this. Or you could just say y is going to be greater than or equal to -4. In other words, y can be anything going up from here. The smallest it can be is -4, and it can be anything bigger than that. So these are 2 ways, both of these are 2 ways to write the domain and the range. Is this a function? Yes. Each input has exactly 1 output. It passes the vertical line test. Okay, so when you work on your domain and range matching, you need to pay attention to if there are arrows or not. That's going to be very important. If there are arrows, then you cannot draw a boundary there. That means it goes on forever and you're going to have either negative infinity or possibly both. Okay?